Welcome to Frozenheim. I recently did a commentary for this, and I said in the commentary that I was going to recommend it based on it currently being cheap and the developers increasing the price as they progress with development. But then I said I don't recommend it because currently it doesn't have a lot of stuff. Well, that's all changed after more game time, so this is an updated review of Frozenheim, but I never released an initial review. I held off on the initial video and I added more to it, played more of the game to kind of build up the structure a little bit better. I also have to thank the guys over at Keymailer for hooking me up with a key for this, so that ties in with a thank you to the devs as well. And before we jump into this video, make sure you are subbed to the channel, turn notifications on, and if you want to support me as a creator, there are channel memberships, Patreon, and a merch store you guys can take a look at in the description. Remember, all of that stuff is optional, and without further ado, let's jump into it. So, the campaign in this game consists currently of 2 missions, and although the early access does state that it's focused on multiplayer and free play, it's not worth the money with what's in the game at the moment. There are some small bugs in there as well, like I was playing some of the free play, the woodcutters just started standing still. I actually had to click on my woodcutter's hut, remove all of the workers working in there, and then send them all back, just to fix what was going on, because I actually run out of wood completely whilst I was playing, and I didn't know what was going on. I thought, okay, maybe I'm using far too much wood for, over what I'm producing. But no, I found out that it was a bug, and it went on for quite a while without me realising. It was only when I ran out of the resource completely, and nothing else was progressing, that I realised it had bugged out. So that was a setback. And that is not the sort of thing you want to happen when you are playing this game, especially with full-on battles and stuff happening. Again, it's another game based on Vikings. We see a lot of them recently, or we have done, and I don't think that's going to stop for a little while. The free play itself, besides the bug and everything that I encountered, is incredibly basic. You have a very limited amount of troops and stuff. In order to get more people to come and live in your settlement, you have to increase the happiness of their houses. And all you've got to do that is just place a well or a druid or something like that near the houses, and they go, boom, happiness is up. You've got more workers. But not only that, they have a cap of 20 troop sort of groups. You're not allowed any more than that. That is your cap for an army. Just 20 groups of troops and stuff. And there's not a lot of troop types in this game at all. I know it's early access, but you go and play something like Age of Empires, you have bloody catapults and stuff, you have spearmen, you have horses, there's loads, a big range of troops that you can work on, whereas it's really, really basic. I think there's 5 altogether in this game at the moment, and one of them isn't even a troop type realistically, it's just scouts. However, through research, you might be able to unlock another 1 or 2. However, just in the first tier at this temple, which will unlock new stuff, I think it was the temple, it will show you, I can't remember the troop type or what the character was, the group of the units basically. I don't know what they were, but it said coming soon. So they released early access. They've kind of put a placeholder in the game for a troop type that's not there. I think it was a trapper, if memory serves me well. And another thing about this, there's a lot of base building. You are only allowed to build within a certain range of your headquarters building, quote unquote headquarters. And there is nothing in the game that will let you increase the radius of your building area. You're stuck with a very small area. The maps are dreadful. There are 3 maps, and their focus was free play and multiplayer. There were 3 maps, 2 of them being 3-player, 1 of them being 4-player, and the 4-player one has a massive lake that goes all out in the middle. You get this tiny sort of corner of the map where you get to build, and you do not get space for a lot of stuff. In 4 sort of player combat, you're going to need a much bigger area. Especially because, I'm going to say around 60% of the map or something is water. You don't have boats that can attack each other in this game. You only have, troop transport boats. So I think that there's a lot of flaws within the design of this game as well. It's got your standard RTS resource managing base building gameplay. The game does look really good and it's got its own photo mode, but that doesn't make it a better game. having photo mode and the game looking good doesn't add any value to what I review being the gameplay part of a game. You don't need to actually bother with half the resources in this game. If you want food for your growing settlement, then just slap down a few fishing huts and you're sorted. You can also build like farms, and you can farm like harvest wheat, but each one of those will take up about 30% of your building area, so there's no point to it. The game is currently £13.50, so it's a fairly cheap one in terms of a game price. And if you are interested in this game, I strongly recommend you grab it now if you really want it, as they plan to increase the price, as I said, as they release more content. I can't actually see these developers sticking to their roadmap, as it's planned to be completed in about 6 months' time, with a full-on campaign and more to do. The game also, sadly, because it is a decent little game, it was actually DOA, so dead on arrival. It only reached 1,000 concurrent players. It was released on the 20th of May, and that was the all-time peak, 1,000 players, and there's now not even 100 people staying on and playing only 3 weeks later. It's a good concept of a game, it just wasn't a good enough early access game. There was nowhere near enough to it, and as I said, 6 months is definitely not going to add anything substantial, in my opinion. They're probably going to have to rush a lot of it out, more bugs will come into it, so I don't see the point. Raising the price also, not a good idea at all in my opinion, and obviously, because of all of this, I do not recommend this game, especially in early access. However, it's early access. I might come back when it's content complete and check it out again. But on that note, that's going to do it for the video. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it.